What are features of an instructions text? Year 1, the features are: I used a how-to heading. I used a you will need subheading. I gave one list of things you need. I used numbered instructions in the right order. I used a bossy verb in the present tense to begin each instruction. I linked diagrams to instructions, and I used labels and captions. Year 2, here are the features. I used a how-to heading. I used an introduction to hook the reader. I used a you will need subheading. I gave two lists, equipment and materials. I used numbered instructions in the right order. I used a bossy verb in the present tense to begin each instruction. I used an adverb ending in ly to give more detail to show how the action is to be carried out. I linked diagrams to instructions. I used labels and captions. I used a short conclusion. Making a Chinese paper lantern. Today you will be planning your own instructions text for creating a Chinese paper lantern that you made last week. I want you to answer these questions orally, just by talking. What did you make? What was the purpose? How did you make this? What equipment did you need? What did you do first? Then what did you do? Here is the plan for year 1. You will need to write your how-to heading, and you will also need to write your you will need heading. You will need to make a list of all the things that you needed to make the Chinese paper lantern. When you've done that, I would like you to draw a picture or a diagram for each step or each instruction. When you've drawn, so you might have 5 or 6 pictures. Around each picture, I would like you to label it with a bossy verb. So for example, if the picture is of you cutting the paper using scissors, you would label the picture with the word cut. If it was the first thing that you did, you could also label it with the time conjunction first. To really make this even better, your challenge is to include adjectives to give more detail. So if the paper that you used needed to be long paper, you could include the word long. If you are unsure how to lay out your plan, here are some ideas. The plan year 2. Here are the things that you will need to include in your plan for writing your instructions text. In your plan, you will need to make a list of the materials that you used. I would really like you to challenge yourself and also include expanded noun phrases. So rather than just writing ribbon, write long, thin ribbon. Rather than just writing knife, it might be butter knife. Can you include a diagram and a label or caption? What will it be of and how many? You might want to include a small diagram for every single instruction, or you might just decide to include one at the end. You also need to make a list of the equipment that you used and the materials that you used. Think about how you made the paper lantern, or look at the pictures on the screen before. How many different steps did you take? Make sure you remember them in order. You could draw a picture to represent each step or instruction. For each step or instruction, you need to write down a bossy verb, an expanded noun phrase, a time conjunction, and to challenge yourself, an adverb. So a word that describes the verb, like carefully, gently, quickly, softly. Here is an example of a planning sheet that you could use. There is the how-to heading, the you will need section, space for you to write a list of ingredients and equipment that you used. You have then got the method. So the 6 boxes are there for your instructions. So maybe you might have 6 instructions. You might have more, you might have less, it's up to you, but they're just provided for you to use. Remember, if you are going to draw pictures inside the boxes for each instruction, you must write words around the picture. And the words that we discussed are on this slide before. Plenary. And now we come to the end of the lesson. Can you use your plan to tell someone how to make a Chinese paper lantern? I'd like you to do this by speaking, not by writing. Remember to include your bossy verbs, adverbs and time conjunctions.